Hi there, we're going to do a review for Module 5. So we are talking about proportion and percent. Super important module because of the percent. We see that in everyday life, either markups or markdowns, either we're buying something or paying for something, or we are business people. So make sure that you understand the concept of percent and all that it entails. So the first one is 5.2. So we're going to look at percent increase or decrease. So before we get to that, let's go over our formula that we're using. So to find percent of change, I'm gonna do the difference, right? So basically the amount of change over the original times 100 to get it into percent. Okay, we times it by 100 because that's gonna give us a percentage. So make sure that you know that. Okay, so we're going from 36 to 63. So the first thing I need to do is find the amount of change. So how much did it change? That means difference, therefore it is subtraction. So then I subtract the smallest from the bigger numbers. So I'll go 63 minus 36. So that becomes a 13, so that's 7, so that will be 27. So the amount of change is 27. So I'm going to say 27 over, and then was original 36, and then I'm going to multiply that times 100. Okay, so right here you're gonna do first one in the house. So when you can subtract it like this, but I'm gonna use what I know a fraction, so I can work easier on my side. So I'm gonna reduce 27 over 36 to the simplest form, and I know I can divide those two by 9. So that will be 9 times 3 is 27, and then 4, so 3/4, and I already know what that is. I know that that is 0.75, and if I don't know that, then still you can do 3 divided by 4, so that's 0. Add a decimal here, bring it up, add a 0 there, so that will be 7 times 2 is 28, so 2, bring down the 0 again, and that's 70.75, so 7,500. Okay, so that's decimal, and then from decimal to percentage, remember this is 7,500, which means 75 out of 100, which basically percentage. But if you don't remember that, remember when you go from decimal to percentage, I move my decimal twice to the right. So that ends up to be 75%. Okay, so then that will be my answer for the first one right here. So I'm going to erase all of that and use the answer. So I did amount change was which that times divided by original times 100 gives me 75%. So let's do this one here. So I'm going from 50 to 35. So the difference between 50 and 35 is 15. So it's 15 and the original is 50. So I'm going to use what I know again. So 15 divided by 50, I can divide by 5. So that will give me 3 over 10. And I know I can either, so I can do that, which is 0.3, times it by 100. That will give me 30%. Or the other way you can go about it is go like this. $30 over 100, which is 30%. So that's another way to do it. Okay. So then we'll go to number 1 for 5.2. So this one we're going to rewrite percentage expressions. And we're going to look at markup or markdown. So the original price is $60. I'm marking up, that means I'm going to add, right? And then I want to know the retail price. So going back to our expressions, I know that this is 100% of the price, so that's 100. And I'm adding 15% more. So that's going to give me 115%. So 115% in decimal form is 1.15. Okay. And then the price, I can call it P, right? I know the price is $60. So I'm going to plug that in. So I'm going to say 1.15 times 60. So then I multiply those two together. I'm going to do it right here. So that's 0. Since every number multiplied by 0 is just going to give me 0, I personally just keep on writing here and I just keep that place, but so I'll do it my way and then I'll show you your way. So 6 times 5 is 30, carry it 3 over, 6 times 1 is 6 plus 9, plus 3 is 9, and then 6. And I have 1, 2 after the decimal point, so 1, 2, that will be $69. The way that you do it is okay, which is the same thing. So if you are marking up, like if you're a business person and you bought something for $60 and you want to bump up the price for 15%, that will be the retail price that customers are going to pay. Now let's look at this one. So we're going to do the same thing. So 100% of my original price, right? And then markdown means minus. So minus 22%. That will give me 78%. So 78% in decimal form is 0.78. So I'm gonna multiply. I'm gonna do 78% of the original price, which I'm gonna call P. And if P equals $50, how much would that be? So I'm gonna multiply this together. So 0.78 times 50, right? So when I do that, this is what I get. So I'm gonna do what I did over here. So if that's 0, then that basically this takes place of my next placeholder. So 5 times A is 40, so carry the 4 over, and then 5 times 7 is 35 plus 3 more, that's 39. There's one decimal here, and I have 1, 2, so that's 1, 2. So then that's $39. So in this case, the situation will be you're going to the store and you want to buy a pair of shoes that is $50 original price, and they have 22% off sale. So you end up paying $39. Okay. Okay. And for this one, I'm gonna write the is of and 100. So this comes really handy when you don't know what to do. So this helps you to place the elements that are given to you and just figure out what is unknown. So you kind of play the spy or the detective, right? So this one says you earn $1,735 a month, and you pay $53.10 for water. To the nearest tenth, what percentage of your earnings are spent on the water monthly? So this one is a great one to use right here. So I'm gonna figure out what I know. So I'm gonna rewrite that, and then I'll do it so you guys can see that. So 100 will always stay there because you're working with percentages. So that was gonna stay there. Now, let's see what we know. So we know that this is how much you earn a month, and this is how much you pay of that. We do not know the percentage, so this is what we're gonna be looking for. But we know the is and the of. Now, the of is, if you look at it straight across, it's 100%. So total, how much you get a month. This is a total. So I'm gonna erase that. That's the of. So I'm going to write 1,735, right? And then I'm going to use the is. So this is the is. This is how much you pay out of the total, right? So this is the portion that you pay out of this. So this is how much you pay, $53, right? So you use this money to pay that. So that's what we have now. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try to figure out what percentage that is, okay? So the easiest way that I can think of that I will do it using a calculator will be to use what I call the butterfly effect. So I'm going to multiply these two together, the ones that I know diagonally, right? So I'm going to do 53.10 times 100, which basically tells me to move my decimal place twice to the right because I'm multiplying by 100. So this is 5,310. And that's going to be equal to this right here. Now, I don't know the percentage. I'm going to erase it. I'm going to use right and next. Okay, so we're going to work with solving for one variable. So then when I multiply those two together, I have 1,735 times x. So I don't know my x. That's what I'm looking for. Now, to get rid of this, this already multiplied. So for me to get rid of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by the same number. So that way I can cancel it because it's just one. So I end up with the next. And what I do to one side of the equation, I do to the other side. So hopefully you guys remember this. Okay. So then I'm going to multiply that. And that's going to give me my percentage. So I'm going to say, remember, first one goes inside the house. So I'm going to do it right here to have more space. So 5,310 divided by 1,735. Long division, right? So how many times does that go into that? I will say, so if I give this to that, this to this, this to this, and this to this, how many times does 1 go into 5? I would say 5, but this is a pretty high number. So I'm going to bump it down to, let's try 3. So if I try 3, so let me do your way so you don't get confused. End up with that. Now I'm going to add a decimal, bring it up, add a 0, bring it down. I'm gonna stop right there just because it's asking me to round to the nearest tenth. So I already have my tenth place there, and I'm gonna look to the right, and that's bigger than 5, so I'm gonna round up. So then in this case, X will be 3.1%. 3.1% of your monthly salary goes to paying the water. And the last one. So this one is very important because you go buy things or go to the store and you pay taxes. And I'm talking about the taxes that you pay on sales. I'm not talking about the end of the year taxes where you have to pay the government, depending on how much you earn, or the government has to give you some money back. So it says your family goes out to eat and the bill comes to $45. Now the sales tax is 9% and you leave a 15% tip on the pre-tax amount. Now this is important because pre-tax means before taxes. So that means they're going to take the 45 and do 15% of that. Now, the easiest way for me to do this will be to add my percentages. So I know the $45 is 100% of what I have to pay. I have to pay that, right? And then I'm going to say plus 9% of my taxes plus 15%. Now, because it's pre-tax, that can be included here. If it was given after taxes, then it will be a different story. So let's do it that way. So I'm going to add all of that together, which is going to be 124%. So change that into decimal. That will be 1.24 because I moved my decimal twice to the left. So it's 1.24. And then I'm going to multiply that by how much I have to pay, right? So by the bill, the cost, or whatever it is, which is $45. So I'm going to say 1.24 times 45. The total is $55.80 that you're going to have to pay after the sales tax and also after the tip that you're given the restaurant that you went out to eat. All right, remember, math is magical and you are amazingly brilliant. You got this. I know percentages don't come easy for many of you, but I know it's doable as long as you keep on trying and practicing. And again, you guys, this will be one of the lessons that you truly use for the rest of your life. God bless you. Bye.